Johanna Burkhardt here, the Soul Shaman. I'm coming to you today with an update on what we call the event. I'm coming in to bring some new perspective and some new insights that have been shared with me from my team that I work with, my Pleiadian guides, as well as just my own perspective as I anchor further into this experience, what I am experiencing, and ways in which we can help ourselves move through this process much more fluidly, as well as there's been a lot of talk in the spiritual community about two earths, and some people really feeling like it's going to be two separate earths and we're going to be moving from one location to another. And I want to put my perspective on this and how they share it with me, and I'll let you decide and you feel into what resonates with you. We really just want to make this easy and really want you to feel safe and knowing that nothing crazy is going to happen, and there's nothing to fear, because a lot of these types of things that kind of get hyped up really are tapping into that fear consciousness, and it's not serving anybody to be in that space. And so when we talk about the event, this is something that is taking place currently. It's been happening. It's really kind of accelerating right now at the moment, but it's going to continue to happen even over 2019. It's not going to be a one thing that's done. And some even say that it's already done and we're just now experiencing it. And that's obviously a possibility, because outside of 3D, there is no time construct. Right? So everything is happening all at one time, all at the same time. All our past lives, our future lives, everything's happening simultaneously. So of course that would make sense, right? But what they show for me, the two earths being, is more of not physical, but more in a dimensional aspect. So we're going to be moving from a 3D, even 3D, 4D, consciousness into a 5-dimensional consciousness, which will make 5D, as you anchor into it, kind of like your baseline reality, right? You will be living in a 5-dimensional reality as your foundation, as your base. It will no longer be you're living in 3D and you go and meditate or have these influxes where you're in 4 or 5D. 5D becomes your baseline reality. And it's not that you don't see 3D or that you don't see 4D, but it's that you are able to see it and realize that that is a old story, old programming. It is a heavy, dense programming that is not serving. You're able to acknowledge it and understand that that's not your reality, right? That's not yours anymore. That's an old way of thinking. That's an old way of processing. And that's how they're really showing it to me. And everybody's going to have unique experiences within the event or the shift. Honestly, is they're saying is a better way of saying it. It really is a shift of consciousness on a collective level. So each person will have a different experience based on the density that they are carrying within their being. So when we think about our infrastructure, we can give the metaphor of a house, right? As we're building the house, that is the structure of our being, our bones, our skull, our teeth. This is all our infrastructure. And when we're born, the very first thing that builds is the spine. And within that spine, we start to collect all of the karmic memories, right? Because that's really what karmic is memories from all these other times and places and bloodlines and everything that just kind of collects and it builds up into our spine. So when you think about a Kundalini awakening, it's all this energy unraveling as it goes up, and all this remembrance starts to come forward. And it can be quite exciting, or it can be painful. It just depends on the reality or the way that you see things, right? You can really shift pain to bliss. And it's crazy to say that, but it can be an ecstasy thing. It can be something that's super exciting, but it does require complete and utter surrender and just continuous letting go. Okay. So anyway, this is our constructs, and our bones are very dense, right? They're filled with all these old programming, all this conditioning, all of these karmic memories, these relationships that we can encounter for lessons that will help our evolution and our shift in consciousness and bringing us from separation into unity. And so the emotions that we choose to hold on to, and the way that we choose to treat our body is really going to be, and what dimension that you are currently living in, you know, majority of the time. Is your body, are you holding a lot of light, or are you still holding on to a lot of dense programming and conditioning? And that's really the difference in your reality. If you are living in 3D, then you're very much in the victim mode still. You're very much in your ego and the logical mind, and you're not in your heart. Your heart is closed off, and your mind is in full control, right? That is the matrix programming. That is the 3D programming. And everything has to be a struggle and hard. And when we start to move to 4D, we begin to experience these, I like to call it like these waves of manifestation and seeing things differently. A lot of times people talk about the 4D as a bad thing. I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. I show it as a window. It really is like, hey, do you want to take a peek in this space and see what's possible? But we are always manifesting, right? And so that fourth dimension really helps with that, because sometimes you ever heard the term, be careful what you ask for, or be careful what you wish for. Sometimes we put these grandiose things out there into the world that we want, and then the universe delivers, and then we're like, holy fuck, what am I going to do with this? And we shut ourselves down, we get overloaded, and we go back into that three-dimensional reality of, that's not for me. I can't have that. So I consider the 4D a window, a portal, an access point that says, hey, this is available to you, and you get to go and play in that realm. But it's when we choose to embody this process, and we choose to start honoring our body as what it is a home for our light, for our soul, right? I call it the vehicle. I always tell people, all right, even my children, I say, you're the commander of your ship, right? Whether it's a vehicle, a spaceship, or a car, or a motorhome, whatever you want to call it, right? You are the commander, you are the driver, and you need to take care of your physical home for your light. And that is this body. So I carry and hold a lot of light. So I tend to eat a lot less. I eat very raw foods. Most of the time it's blended, and I drink them. I'm almost, I would say about 85% liquid diet at this point. I have to really be conscious of the realities that I'm living in, and seeing the programming that, you know, is 3D, is the old stories, is the limiting beliefs and the struggles, and really shifting out of that consciousness and choosing to really take care of my body, choosing to treat it well, move it, enjoy life, meditate, honor my soul, and not worry about what other people are thinking. So depending on where you are in this process is going to be the way of which you experience this. So some people may be having a really hard time, right? Because they're really at the beginning of that healing process. And these light codes that are coming in, we're having waves of photonic light, crystalline, plasmic, supersonic, you know, the purification 222 codes, all of it. Like, there's so much, I could go on and on and on. We're having all these energies come through, and for some, it could be a very painful experience. A lot of people are getting sick. A lot of people are feeling the struggle and having straight up pure exhaustion. While other people, not so much, you know, and they're really beginning to step in and embody their light body, and realizing that they are not their physical body, and they are not their mind. They're opening their heart wide open and allowing love and their soul to be the thing that guides. That is the thing that is supposed to guide your mind. Your mind is a tool for your heart. And so when we live from the heart space and we bust that wide open, we don't shut it down because of fear, right? Or all of this collective consciousness is going around, that lack consciousness, right? That the space of uncertainty and fear-based thinking. When we break free of that and we see that there's so much more available to us, and that we don't have to buy into that there are other options, and we do that by conscious choice, we really set ourselves free. We are the key. We are the ones that hold the key that unlocks everything. And so no, there isn't going to be two physical earths. We're not moving from one to another. It's just two different dimensions that become our baseline reality. And the way to help yourself is to let go over and over and over again, to surrender, and to allow the energy to move through the old programming, the old stories, and really clear out your density and really open your light body up completely, open your heart completely. And that process in itself will allow you to move through this, and it will make it less painful and more in the joy and peace and ecstasy realm of experience. That doesn't mean you still won't be tired. It still doesn't mean that you won't experience things physically, but you will see it so much differently. You will see what will happen once this process is done moving through you. Because when you surrender, you're like, fine, just take it, clear out the old programming. I'm ready for my new reality. Allow me to experience that. So again, it's going to be different for everybody, and this is an ongoing process. And if you're ready to have the fifth dimensional way of being, be your baseline, right? That doesn't mean that, that's just the beginning. So once you're ready to have 5D as your baseline reality, that instant manifestation constantly, the love and joy constantly, the freedom to be in your soul and enjoy this experience the way you were meant to, all you have to do is surrender. You just have to let go over and over and over. I hope this helps. If you have questions about my perspective on this or how I'm experiencing this, please post them below and I will get back to you. Maybe I'll even create a whole nother video, but I really want people to not buy into the fear aspects, because while we will have these bigger earthly events that kind of shake us up and awaken us, because so many people are awakening and coming online, as I like to say it, right? Their light bodies trying to come online. That's what the awakening process is. You know, more and more people are going to buy into this fear, and I really want people to know there's nothing to be worried about. When we feel uncertainty, it is the universe saying, "Do you trust me?" Feel into it. Feel into your experience and believe that security and love is not an external thing. It's not dependent upon money or items or love from another being. It really is rooted in knowing who we are or trusting the process of discovery. Please like, share, and subscribe this video. Let's spread more words of love and understanding. And I will be back to talk again soon. Bye.